Good morning. I need to get filming, but I've been watching Love Island like too much. Anybody else have this problem? I don't know. Is it just me? Is it really just me? I don't think so. Love Island's really popular. It's just one of those days. It's hot. Love Island. Did I mention Love Island? Yeah. So, okay, the lighting's about right there.
Well, that's what I thought. Right now, it's not, because I can't even speak to someone I'm coupled up with.
Yeah, we're so 100% nicer right now.
Appalachian sunrise meets my skin. Even with my eyes still closed, I can feel it coming in. Golden, golden, I'll follow only golden. Golden things.
Okay, got my chai, so should be ready to get the day started soon, but you know, the dogs kind of need a walk and stuff like that, so, but the video's coming, I promise. I gotta get on it. I gotta get on it. You know, teachers in the summer. Busy times, let me tell you. Do you hate me a little bit? Yeah, maybe. Okay, sorry, I'm gonna shut up now. Okay. Oh my gosh, you guys, we've been talking for weeks and I just realized we haven't even covered the greenhouse effect yet. I've been such a bad friend to you. Hey everybody, so you may notice I don't look as put together as usual, and the truth is I really wanted to film a video today, but I just didn't have time to get all dolled up. I really like this particular YouTuber who I wouldn't be here without. She really made me feel like it was possible to have a channel, and if I do have any success down the line, we'll see. A lot of it's going to be because of her. So I want to thank her right now. Her name is Cathrin Manning. Check out her videos. They're amazing. I'll include a link to them below as normal. Something that Cathrin taught me was that you don't need to look perfect to come on and make a video. In fact, the more authentic you look, the better. I mean, it's kind of weird that I have this backward baseball cap on right now, but I don't look good in hats normally. Like, let me show you. Like, that just looks, I don't know, doesn't it look bad to you? Maybe not, actually. Not too bad, maybe? I don't know. This looks like more natural to me, but also maybe I'm crazy and I just look like a lunatic. But when she first had her videos coming out, which was several years ago, she's really blown up on YouTube, but she didn't used to be that way. Her content earlier on was about how to succeed on YouTube, hence I found her. She would talk about how YouTube's a visual platform, so you have to really put into looking your best visually, you know, as sad as that is. And I was like, yeah, of course, it's a visual platform, of course. But now she's kind of, and I don't want to speak for her, but she's basically changed her tune. Now she says that you should show up as authentically as possible. Essentially, that's kind of what I get from her. And so she doesn't really spend as much time making sure she looks perfect on her videos, which I really like. And in her perspective, her new perspective, it allows you to relate to your audience more and make them feel like you're being more yourself. So hopefully that's true, because I didn't have time to shower yet today. But I will. Later. I'm hot now. It's 100 degrees today, it's supposed to be, so like, it's a steamer. Okay, we're back to this direction of the hat. Today we're going to be talking about the greenhouse effect, otherwise known as the mechanism for climate change. I like to tell my students the climate change is the what. It's what happens. The earth gets warmer. Whereas the greenhouse effect is the how. It's what causes the warming to happen. So today we're going to look at the specifics for how the greenhouse effect works. But first and foremost, we need to understand that the greenhouse effect is natural. It's very important for this planet. If it weren't in existence, we would kind of be screwed. We like to say that everywhere on Earth would be an average of 30 degrees cooler than it is right now, which most of us don't really want wherever we live to be 30 degrees cooler on average, although it may feel like it today. And aside from humans, that would be unlivable for a lot of different species in drastic climates and species in average climates who have a very low tolerance for fluctuations in temperature. So it wouldn't really be good for anyone. However, because of the enormous amount of fossil fuels that has been pumped into the atmosphere by humans since the onset of the Industrial Revolution, what we're seeing now has been given the nickname by some of the enhanced greenhouse effect. In mechanism, it's no different from the greenhouse effect, it's just accelerated, and you'll see why in a moment. One representation of the greenhouse effect that I really like was made by Futurama, actually, and I saw in an Inconvenient Truth, Al Gore plays the clip of it, but I only later found out it's actually from Futurama. Good show. I'm going to attach a link of it in the description because I know there's a link of it out there on YouTube. Definitely give it a watch. It's pretty funny. Okay, I'm going to go through the steps of the greenhouse effect, and how I'm going to do this is the same way that I do it for students when I'm teaching them the first time, which means it's going to involve a lot of whiteboard markers. Perhaps the most complicated part of the greenhouse effect isn't all that complicated at all. It's having a basic understanding of the electromagnetic spectrum. Yes, the electromagnetic spectrum. The visible light spectrum is just one small portion of the electromagnetic spectrum, and visible light is a type of shortwave radiation, which means it has high frequency and short wavelength. The specifics of the electromagnetic spectrum involve understanding physics, which is a struggle for me, so we're not going to dive into them, but it's important for understanding how the Earth behaves with these different types of radiation. So I actually had to go to not one but two stores to get some whiteboard markers because it turns out I was out. I am sweating bullets. It's so freaking hot outside today. And now I'm gonna go ahead and draw for you my cartoon Earth, which I always do to get started. So we've got our Earth, we've got our Sun, and the next important thing I'm going to draw on here, and this is going to be the atmosphere. Now, of course, the atmosphere doesn't just have a place where it stops. It's not like the Simpsons dome in that Simpsons movie or anything. It kind of just fades off, and sometimes it's debated where the actual end of the atmosphere is. Anyway, it's not a cap, but this is just the line we're going to use to represent the atmosphere. Another important thing to know is this atmosphere is not, in this case, related to the ozone layer. So not the ozone layer. The reason why it's important to say that is because a lot of people think that when we're talking about the atmosphere and when we're talking about the greenhouse effect, we're talking about the ozone layer, that they're one and the same. And that could not be further from the truth. The sun sends radiation towards the Earth, and we should all know about this. This is what allows life to be possible. I'm showing that it's shortwave by having it be red like the color of the sun and having very small little squiggles because it has a short wavelength and short frequency. The sun sends shortwave radiation. Think that, sun short. Now this is opposed to long wave radiation, which we're going to see here in a second. So the sun sends shortwave radiation, and this is mostly in the visible light spectrum. That's where the sun's radiation peaks on the electromagnetic spectrum, is that visible light spectrum. We perceive it as light when it hits different objects and reflects off of them. When that shortwave radiation hits the Earth actually absorbs some of it and emits some of it, so it sends radiation back out. The Earth, rather than sending shortwave radiation, it actually emits long-wave radiation. So it's called long-wave radiation. I'm drawing the squiggles a little bit differently here because the frequency and the wavelength are a lot longer. And so this is a totally different type of energy. The Earth hits its peak of emission at the infrared radiation level on the electromagnetic spectrum. So the Earth does not emit visible light. It emits the infrared radiation. And these are two different types of energy, okay? And this is really important because what happens is that when the long wave radiation hits the atmosphere, it interacts because of the qualities of the wave with these certain molecules called greenhouse gases. The most famous greenhouse gas is carbon dioxide. We've also got methane, which is CH4. We've got nitrous oxides as well. Water is actually a greenhouse gas, believe it or not. So we've got these greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. Once the sun sends its radiation, the Earth absorbs some of the radiation. It re-emits some of that radiation in a different form. because of the qualities of the Earth. When it hits those greenhouse gases, what happens is that depending on the angle that it hits these greenhouse gases, this long wave radiation, it can get sent back towards the Earth. The more greenhouse gases there are, the more we get these long wave radiations sent back towards the Earth because they're hitting these greenhouse gases. So it's just like a game of pinball. These greenhouse gases are the little stoppers that are sending this radiation back. And the sun's going to keep sending shortwave radiation, the Earth's going to keep emitting long wave radiation, and these greenhouse gases are going to keep blocking that radiation from leaving the Earth. Of course some leaves. Duh. If none was leaving, we would be dead. A lot of that radiation is leaving, but the more greenhouse gases that get put up in the atmosphere here, the harder that game of pinball becomes. And we've emitted so much more greenhouse gases in the atmosphere than is natural that we've really exacerbated the problem. So like I said, water is a greenhouse gas, so that's natural. We're not going to try and remove water as a gas in the atmosphere. That doesn't make any sense. However, because we have been, as humans, taking these fossil fuels out of the Earth, which were the decayed corpses of animal and plant matter from millions of years ago, and we've put so many of these, yes, natural gases into the atmosphere in such excess amounts that are no longer natural, this game of pinball is starting to freaking heat us up and make us way too hot down here. So that's the basic mechanism. Let's break this down into steps. Step number 1 is when the sun sends shortwave radiation towards the Earth. Step number 2 is when the Earth takes that shortwave radiation and re-emits it as long-wave radiation. It absorbs some, but some is re-emitted as well. And then step number 3, that long-wave radiation that's just been emitted by the Earth gets trapped by the greenhouse gases. And that's pretty much it. Your homework for today is to have a conversation with somebody you know about the greenhouse effect. Ask them if they know the steps. And then come let me know, because I'm really curious about who specifically knows what the greenhouse effect involves rather than just knows what climate change is. Anyway, have a great day. Thanks for putting up for me and my weird ass hat. Like, subscribe, comment. What's up? I'm May. What's up? What's up? Okay, I hate everything. Like, subscribe, and comment, y'all. Like, subscribe, and comment. Like, subscribe, and comment. Y'all, like, subscribe, and comment. Like, subscribe, and comment. When I get students again, they're gonna grill me. It's fine.